Friends, it's happening. Gold has been on an unstoppable run. It has gone up more than 81% in the last 5 years and almost 20% in the last 12 months. Central banks are ditching the dollar and U.S. treasuries and buying more gold. The good news, it's predicted to go up more. Some experts even say it will go up to $5,000. Noble Gold Investments' phone has been ringing nonstop. Everyone wants to protect their retirement with gold, and you can do the same. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced investor, Noble Gold Investments will make sure you get all the help you need, and from day one, you work with the same dedicated all-American expert. And this month, Noble Gold Investments will give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin if you open a qualified account. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
But one of the most significant differences, critical for moving from polarization to productivity, is that the Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done. I think in our messy human hearts, we also know that the truth is something of a fickle mistress, and that the beauty of the truth is actually often in the struggle. It's the reason that we have so many sublime chronicles of the human experience, because there are so many different truths to be explored. And so in this spirit, I know that the truth exists for each of you in this room. It also probably exists for the person sitting next to you. But the thing is, the two of you don't necessarily have the same truths. And this is because for many of us, truth is what we make when we merge facts about the world with our beliefs about the world. Each of us has our own truth, and it's probably a good one.
Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. It's good to see you, my friends. Thank you for tuning in on Rumble and on YouTube in the live chat. Oh my goodness, it's happening in the live chat today. I see Sharon is here. Good to see you. Jace Ventura is here. Rob is here from Michigan. Hey, my friend. Opif Divinity is here. Manifesting Marin, Gerda is here. Good to see you. Annie, Jay Wilkie. Let me see who else is here. Jay Fraj, good to see you, my friend. Todd J, haven't seen you in a second. Welcome, everybody. Michelle is here. David, Kika, Trudy, John. Oh, my goodness. Night Vision. Stuart K is here. Good to see you, my friend from the UK. Oh, thank you all for tuning in. It's such an honor to see you all. Alrighty, my friends. So there are no hyperboles, there are no hyperboles here. And this intro, we played this intro before in a show before, I don't know, a few months ago. This was Catherine Mayer from, she used to be with Wikipedia, and she's now the president and CEO of NPR, National Public Radio. And I play this clip because she's that's a big deal. The president and CEO of NPR is a big deal because this is the kind of intellectual neoliberal bullshit that they are packaging in a way so that it makes sense to people in a world where whatever the feeling, the flavor of your feeling of the day is equated to the truth. This sounds wonderful to people. But here's how and why this subject is so important and what the forbidden question is. The forbidden question, really, all my life, I've noticed this. I've been scolded. I've been disciplined. I've been hated on, banished, ostracized, whatever you want to call it, whenever I kept asking this question. And it's very simple. What is the truth? That's the forbidden question. That's the one question you're not supposed to ask. You're not supposed to want to know the truth. Now, in the last few days, we've watched the interactions on the comment sections and whatnot, and there are so many belief systems floating around about what we are supposed to feel, how we are supposed to think, and what is the most important thing. And none of it, no, none of the commentators, or very few, actually said the quiet part out loud. There's only one question that matters in the entire universe. What is the truth about any given thing? Not how does it make you feel. Your feelings, by the way, and we'll go a little bit into feelings today. They're such a deceptive thing because most people are not in touch with their true primary feelings, which could be equated to intuition. No, they're in touch with biochemical reactions that are triggered by unresolved memories and whatnot. So, this is such a broad field, and people go, well, if you're not a Christian, then you're not good. If you're not a New Ager, then you're not good. If you don't believe this, then you're not good. Let me make it clear to you. The only thing that needs to be believed is a lie or an untruth. And the only thing that can be known is a truth. There is no other way. So, if our world is built on lies and people believe in those lies, then they don't know anything, but they believe a lot. And anything that you don't really know is not the truth. If you're here and if you're part of this inspired tribe, this inspired family, not through membership, not through some weird cult allegiance, but by simply having the same obsessive question, what is the truth? If you're going to invest your lifetime into anything, studying something, getting to know something, then that must be your guiding question. But see, the reason why we are here at this stage in the human story and why we have to ask this question over and over again is because our ancestors weren't as concerned with the truth. They were, for quite some time, concerned with improving their situation. They might have been concerned with simply getting ahead or making profits or not rocking the boat. And I'm not pointing fingers, but it wasn't as necessary maybe to ask this question as it is for us now. And I frankly don't care. People can build a whole life based on a false belief system. That's everyone's prerogative, and I really don't care. But I will never sacrifice my quest for convention. And convention says, do not ask this question. I grew up in a business family, in a business background. So naturally, that was kind of the normal thing to do for me, was to question, how does business work? And I was wondering, my dad was in a specific kind of business. So I was wondering, well, how does this kind of business work? And so a lot of times the answer was, well, here is how it's done. And so then you get the version that almost, well, here's what this business is about. First off, this is the version that almost everybody gets, that you can read up in books, right? Let's say oil business. The oil business. How does the oil business work? Well, it's very simple. There's a process. They discover oil, then they pump the oil, and they process the oil, then they refine it, then they turn it into all these products, and then they ship it. And so that is the one thing, right? That is the official story that you can read in the books. Then there is the how it's done, right? And that gives you the structure and the insides of the business world in the oil business. And then there is the truth. And the truth is, a lot of palms are greased. Wars are being fought over this. Countries are being destroyed over it and have been destroyed over it. And the geopolitical strategy was built around it for the longest time. That's the truth, for example, about the oil business. And you can go deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And then you can ask, what is oil? Oh, is it fossil fuel? Really? Does it reproduce? Here's the point of this discussion is not to talk about oil, is to continually keep a laser sharp focus on what is the truth. Now, if you just want to be in business and if you want to make as much money as you can in this business, you should not ask this question, because you will not be able to operate at highest profitability if you seek the truth, because the truth will automatically redirect your attention and your focus. And the more often that we ask this question in our lives, the more we calibrate our inner focus, our inner compass towards truth, which in my life is the only thing that matters anymore. I do not play pretend. If I'm sitting around a table and people are having these surface level discussions that are all based on lies, if I know there's nothing to be done here, I will not rock the boat. I will politely excuse myself, remove myself, and not be part of this discussion. It bores me. It hurts my brain, and I don't waste my time. If I have a person in my life that wants to live a lie because it feels more comfortable or convenient to them, I will detach from that person. I don't waste my time. We don't waste our time with it. And so when people put their subjective feelings above the truth, then they're really saying, I don't want to know because it makes me feel uncomfortable. But the truth only makes you feel uncomfortable because you're not vibrating at the frequency of truth. And truth has a very specific frequency. As a matter of fact, truth is the highest frequency there is. Truth is the highest form. The creator equals truth. Not love, not bliss, not anything. Truth is the highest. And so if that is not your quest in this life, this is kind of speaking to yesterday's live stream. If this is not your quest in your life, it's all good with me. No harm, no foul, no judgment, but this is not the place for you. It's very if the truth doesn't rock the boat in a world of lies, then you're not really finding the truth. Every truth that we find rocks the foundation of this world, because this world is built on lies and deception. And this is so hard for so many people to wrap their minds around. But I haven't yet found one field where I dig deeper and I don't come to the realization that the truth is the exact inversion of what is being presented on the surface. As a matter of fact, this is all that matters. This is all that we talk about. But see, the biggest challenge is that we are taught to lie to ourselves. From a very young age, we are taught, most of us, not all, thankfully, not all. Some have a better guidance system, but most are taught to deny their own experience. They're taught to override what they are experiencing. Why? Because let's say you are authentically sad about something because it happened in your life. You know what that sadness does to the people around you? It makes them uncomfortable. So they don't necessarily just want to cheer you up. They don't want to feel uncomfortable. So they will distract you, or they will tell you it's not true, or they will give you a way to reframe your experience. Inherently, there's nothing wrong with wanting to improve your experience. But to tell yourself that what you have just experienced is not the truth, that's what creates all the problems in the world. Honor the experience for what it is. Somebody hurt you, or you have been hurt, or you are sad. Well, honor that sadness. And if you honor it, you acknowledge the truth. And if you acknowledge the truth, it doesn't have, there's no need for it to continually show itself because you've already acknowledged it. So you go, and how do you define truth? I've studied this now for years, and I've looked at all the definitions that others have come up with over the years, and some are really close, some are really good. Most put the truth in the context of culture and the times. But I would say when the purpose and the expression of any given thing remains the same. What do I mean by that? Let's say that you take an apple and you cut that apple in half. Now, there's a number of seeds in that apple, and you can take that seed and plant it in the soil. And the truth is here that the soil must present the conditions of truth, right? A soil that is depleted and soil that is poisoned is not the truth. That is part of the lie. But healthy, nutritious soil will communicate with the apple seed and will turn it into what? Every single time, without fail, it will turn it into an apple tree. Now, that is the truth about that seed. The purpose and the expression of that seed remain the same. If that apple seed at one point would turn into a peach tree, then that wouldn't be the truth anymore. But so far, however many times you do it, the apple seed will turn into an apple tree. So the truth means that the purpose and the expression of something remain the same. There are very few things in this world that do remain the same over and over and over and over and over and over again, but those things are the truth. Now, if we apply this principle to all the questions that we ask, the first thing that you will realize is that you don't necessarily find the truth, but you see the untruths for what they are. We have this process of elimination that we go through. If you apply the truth filter, are the purpose and the expression of a thing continually the same? Okay, then that is the truth. If it's not, then it's a lie. I will bring up once again an example that I've talked about many times because almost all of us are familiar with it. I'll talk about 9/11, this event on September the 11th, 2001. And the official narrative is that a few extremists, terrorists that were directed by a guy in a cave, hijacked planes with box cutters and flew those planes into predetermined targets, the World Trade Centers, the Pentagon, and the other plane was supposedly to go to the White House. I don't know, but it was taken down by brave passengers, and then it crashed in Shanksville. Okay. For the first time in history, according to the narrative, the fire caused the melting of steel and a pancaking reaction that brought ultimately 4 buildings down, 2 of which were not officially hit by anything. Now, this story is such a crock of bullshit, but it is still the story that is being repeated over and over and over and over again. And here's the thing. There's a good number of people that do not wish to go into the messy details because it makes them feel yucky. And because it's now 23 years ago, what would that change? They just want to choose the next better feeling thought. Let me ask you this. Do you believe that the true perpetrators of this event have ever been held accountable? Do you believe that some of those true perpetrators are still in very powerful positions? Do you think that if we don't get to the bottom of these things, that we can actually move on? And this is one of many, many events, but this is a big one. Now, I can go and I can debunk every single piece of the story. I can debunk um, definitely that, the plane story and how the plane story unfolded. I can debunk the collapsing of the towers. We can go through this. I have thousands and thousands of hours of research in this. We can go through this day and night. But after thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of asking the question, what is the truth? I still can't give you a 100% true narrative of the events of that day. I can tell you everything that did not happen, which leaves a number of options of what could have happened. And we can only get so close with the access that we have. How many people are willing to live life that way? It's not convenient. It's not comfortable. And it won't have to be done forever. But it has to be done now, as we're still living in a world that is built on lies and deception. When all our history books are wrong, when all the documentaries that are out there, the History Channel and the National Geographic Channel are just showing you a version of something, but not the truth, because that's not the question that they ask. Because why? Because that question isn't convenient to ask, like Catherine Mayer, the president and CEO. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Charlotte, for your contributions. Like they keep telling you, they don't care about the truth because the truth is controversial. No, it's not. All the lies are the controversy. You being told that you are a sinner, that you are bad, that you are flawed, that you have inherent sin, that you have original sin in you, that you can only redeem yourself by constantly making yourself small and insignificant, and by waiting for the return of the Savior. All these stories keep people from continually asking the question, but what is the truth? And it is the only question in the entire universe that matters. So, when people tell me, just keep your vibration high. Okay, okay. Well, study that. Study the vibration of kindness. Study the vibration of forgiveness. Study the vibration of goodwill. Study the vibration of unconditional love. Study the vibration of bliss. Study the vibration of truth. It's everything. And it's something that is not supposed to be pursued. A few years ago, we did our first interview with David Icke. And we had a wonderful conversation before the interview. We had a great interview, and then we had a wonderful conversation after the interview. And I know David did something very specifically. He said something specifically in a way to me that stuck with me, and he knew what he was doing. It took me a while to figure out what he was doing. And he said to me, we talked about the truth and about showing the truth and helping people see it. And he said, in this alternative media arena, he says, there are people that come and go. And he says, I don't understand that. He says, there's sort of the flavor of the month. And he said, I don't get it. If you are on this path, if you are asking the question, what is the truth? How can you quit? How can you stop pursuing it? How can you not keep going? He said, how do you look your children or any child in the eye and know the lies and the deception that they live in, and then say, what does it matter? I'm just going to live my life and choose the next better feeling thought. How do you not keep going? What he was telling me is, I'm happy you're doing what you're doing. And he was making sure that we wouldn't let go, that we wouldn't, give in or be distracted by the plethora of distractions, or that we wouldn't give in to any kind of convenience over the truth. It worked. It most definitely worked. On days where I think, fuck it, because we're sometimes dealing with things that are unspeakable, things that I will never say publicly. I won't give him the time of the day to acknowledge them, but unspeakable things. And then I go, fuck it. What am I doing this for? Is it worth it? Yes, of course it's worth it. But we all have our weak moments. We all have our moments of questioning, whether it is worth it. It is worth it. Because we've lived in this soup of lies and deception for so long that for some reason we think it couldn't be any other way. But here's what drives me. This inner knowing, this memory of a place, a time, a way of being that is inherently truthful, where you are not fighting every day for finding the truth about something, but it is the way of life. Now, this has already existed, and that's what we're working on. We're working on removing, healing, and going through all the bullshit so we can return to a truthful way of being. This struggle isn't meant to be forever, but it is here. And to deny that it's here and to put on the rose-colored glasses and pretend that it's not, it does not help. Never in my life was I ever able to change something for the better if I denied the truth. I first had to acknowledge what the truth of the situation is. Only then can I authentically and truthfully create something better, something new, born from truth. How this has become a controversy, I don't know. Right now in the world, millions and millions of people, for the first time in their lives, are questioning the foundational belief systems of our society. Religions, for example. We are going through the series, The End of Religion as We Know It. Well, guess what? It seems to be very okay to question the Christian traditions in the bigger scheme of things. I'm not talking among the Christians, but in the big scheme of things, nobody seems to have an inherent problem with you questioning some of these Christian belief systems. When it comes to the Jewish ones, hell no, you can't touch them. Thank you so much, Bella. I really appreciate it. The Jewish ones you can't touch because they're the chosen people. The Talmud, which is a collection of traditions and laws, you can't question because what? You're an anti-Semite. Well, that is exactly what is keeping people from asking what is the truth. Likewise, you are a I don't know what phobic when you question Islam or when you question the foundation of the Muslim belief or the Islamic belief or the if you question their practices, if you question what the mission statement is. So, what is the mission statement, for example, of Islam as it exports its belief systems into all corners of the world? It's not peaceful coexistence, it is takeover. Now, I'm not saying every single person is on board with that, but the leadership, that's what it does. The sole purpose of migration of Muslims into Europe is to take over Europe. That is the truth. Now you can say this is Islamophobic. It's not. It's just the truth. But what was the sole purpose of Christians migrating into all corners of the world? Is for the Christian belief system and for the Christian traditions to take over. Why did they go to Australia? What did they do in Australia? Peacefully coexist with the Aboriginal people? No. What did they do in New Zealand? No. In the United States? No. No. It was a takeover. So when we can finally answer those questions truthfully, then we can ask, well, who is doing the doing? Because most people are not bad. Most people are not, they don't have that in them. And that's why these questions matter so much. And that's why I can't simply say, hey, I'm going to just go out and I'm going to just be on my paddleboard, or I'm going to just do a perpetual vacation and just have fun, enjoying my life, knowing that there are forces in this world who are every day working with all of their might to destroy the human family, to destroy all the foundation of our lives, to divide us, and to ultimately turn us into cyborgs. How do you step away from that? How do you not scream it from the rooftops? And at the same time, say, listen, they're lying to you by telling you you have no power. They're lying to you by telling you you are flawed. They're lying to you by telling you that you cannot heal yourself. They're lying to you about everything. So at the same time that you discovered the truth about this world, who runs it, who has been running it, and who's doing all the harming, you also have to acknowledge that the solution and the answers to all these problems are within us, always have been, always will be. And that our participation in it is what keeps it going. The truth is, none of it can keep going if we stop participating. If we stop participating in harming ourselves and each other. But this is a journey, friends. This is something that has to happen step by step with real inner realizations. Realize, real eyes, see with real eyes the real lies. So, all in my book, all religions of the New Age is a part of those religion. The New Age movements, they all have a similar aim, packaged in a different way, but none of them tell you or say to you, keep asking the question, what is the truth? What they say is, let us tell you what the truth is. Here. Now don't question it. And the worst lie that's been brought to the people was there is no truth. That it's all just an interpretation. That you have your truth and I have my truth. Which defeats the purpose of all life. Of course, there are objective truths. Of course, there are laws by which all in the universe was created. Otherwise, we are simply the ideas and expressions of a tyrannical creator whose thoughts and whose momentary ideas define our lives. I don't even know how to how to respond to that. So the mission statement has always been truth, authenticity, and freedom, which are all interconnected. But the main question and the only question that matters to us is, what is the truth? Not what is 70, what is 80%, what is 90% of the truth. And we will have to go, and here's where this gets uncomfortable. We will have to go and question even those systems and beliefs that billions of people have held over centuries, over decades and centuries, and even millennia. We will have to question everything, every single thing, until we get to the bottom of it. One of the subjects that's going to come up in the mainstream very, very soon, it's starting to move in there, is the Second World War. Because it's the lie on which the last century was built on. And the truth is not, oh, the bad guy was the good guy and the good guy was the bad guy. No, 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 no. There's just way more deception in this whole thing than we ever thought possible. And who was playing for whose team and who was doing what and who wasn't doing what, and how we really got here. Unless we figure all this out, my friends, we will always be flying blind through the maze. So the truth is the only thing we can equip ourselves or hope to equip ourselves with. It honestly saddens me. It saddens me sometimes that I oftentimes can't seem to find the right words. And that's fully on me. I sometimes see the reactions and I wonder, was I that unclear? Did I not find a way to express something more clearly? So that's fully on me, and I'll continue to try to improve on that. But if there's one thing that I would love for people to take away, is forget all the other questions and continually ask the question, what is the truth? We now have over 100 genders, and the mainstream is talking about 98 genders as if they were genders over the two that exist, that are actually reality and truth. It is now a controversial statement to say that only a man and a woman coming together can create new life in the way that it was designed. That's it. No, in vitro, laboratory, none of that is natural. And none of that creates true life, real life, natural life in the way that it was designed. That is the truth. Now, you can argue about how you feel about that all day long, and I get that. But this is the way that creating new life was designed. We now say that men can chest feed babies. This is the level of insanity that we're in. The level of complete insanity. It is mental illness. And we're celebrating mental illness. To a large extent, not to the full extent, but to a large extent, we're celebrating 1 million expressions of mental illness for an entire month. Not all of it, not all of this movement is mental illness, but a large section. But then when we say this, we also have to show that it's not just 98 genders. It's going out and clear cutting an entire forest so you can build shit that nobody needs and take away the space, the natural space to live in, and take away the oxygen that it produces, and take away the beauty that it produces and the life system that it produces, to build shit that nobody needs to satisfy the debt that doesn't need to be there. It is also mental illness and insanity. So you see, when we talk about the truth, We have to look at the entirety, not just the piece that makes us personally more uncomfortable. There are days when I think we're never going to get there, honestly. And then there are days when I think finally we've crossed the threshold. Maybe this uncertainty, or maybe this is what the drive is. This is what keeps us going. We don't know how the story will end. I just know that if we cannot inspire more people to ask the question, what is the truth? That we will go down a very, 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 very dark path very, 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 very quickly. The stage is set, and people are already falling for the trap heads over heels. And the only thing that really can set us free is the truth. If people believe that cyborgs are better than humans, if people believe that AI is better than spirit intuition, then that's it. Then what will inevitably happen is we'll go through another cataclysm. This is guaranteed. This is what the systems, what the studying of true history shows us. We'll just go through another cataclysm, and we'll start this whole bullshit over again. That's the only reason why we're here, to keep to avoid this pitfall. We've been in this so many times. So once again, like we have been saying, please go within, explore the grandness of your spirit, and let that spirit guide you to the truth in all areas of your life. Stop doing the things that you know harm you, and start doing the things that you know nourish you, heal you, help you, support you. We've come a long way. Don't let them distract you now. Don't take your eyes off the ball. In my perception, in my best estimation, we have a few more very, very intense years ahead of us where we need to continue to show up with all our might in our lives. And those who can show up in a in a more visible way, do it. But some people simply show up for the truth in their lives and the lives of their families. There's nothing wrong about that. Everybody needs to do it according to their purpose and expression. But if we can do this, if we can stay strong, if we can nourish ourselves to the best of our abilities, heal ourselves to the best of our abilities, stay alert, stay fit, and stay asking the question, what is the truth? We will eventually get through the fog, and we will eventually cross that battle line victoriously. If I didn't believe that, I would turn off this live stream now and never come back. What would I come back for if I didn't believe that? Why would we do that in everything that we do behind the scenes? Our entire family is invested in this, but with their spirit, with their life force. Because we know it can be done. But it has to be all hands on deck. Everybody needs to do what they can do with what they have where they are. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Okay. I want to thank Mr. David Icke, the one and only, who made sure by saying what he said in the way that he said it, that we were going to continue to show up every single day. Thank you, David. That was a good trick you played on me. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for asking the question, what is the truth? Last but not least, I want to say I don't pretend that everything we say always is the truth. We can only go, and in this, I agree. In this, I agree with many others. We can only do our very, very best. And that's why I usually will not say this is the truth, but I'll say this is what I've found so far. And to me, the truth is like an onion. We peel the layers and we peel the layers, and eventually we get there. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll be back with you again very, very soon.